Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is my astral travel that I had last night. Obviously, you can tell. This one was super intense. I went to at least 4 different places. There were like 4 different situations. So the first one was like pretty intense. It was, I don't want to say dealing because I don't think that's a fair word to use. I was around folks who were using, like, addicted to stuff. And the environment was like, I don't know, pretty basic, just like rooms with like stores, like rooms. I don't know how to describe it. But there were like suitcases and there were people hiding drugs. And someone hid drugs in my suitcase and I didn't know about it. They like hid them in a shoe. And then I found them and I was trying to leave and they like took my suitcase. I'm like, can you just take the drugs out and like give me the rest of my stuff back? And then and then I took my suitcase to Congo. And I knew it was Congo when I got there. And apparently today is Congo's Independence Day, but like what happened when I got there, so I like left these buildings and then I went to this other place. There were like train tracks and stuff too in the first situation. Anyway, then we get to Congo and I'm seeing like tanks full of military drive up, but I'm like behind a wall and it's kind of like, in like doctor's offices, I don't know if science labs, there's like hospitals, that's it. It wasn't a hospital, but it looked like a hospital. Like it had all like those big windows, that you could like cover with the blinds. And then I found some other white folks. I think they were mostly men in like this one room and they were just chilling. And so I was like, oh hey, can I be in here? And they're like, yeah. And so I went in there and just sat down, and then I think I left and went to another place, but they were talking about how it was like the military was coming in and taking over, and so like they were shooting people and stuff. It was very weird and intense. And then Marley here. And then after that we went to, there's this woman, and there were a few of us. I think she was a real estate, I know she was a real estate agent. And so she was, I don't remember what we were doing before she took us to the house, but she took us to this weird house, and I remember there being like, it was like up these really intense stairs. And then there was like a wall, but there was like a car hanging on the wall. Like a legit car hanging on the wall. I guess it was supposed to be like this luxury house. And I was like, ugh. It felt very cold and very gross. So there was a wall. Like the car that was hanging on the wall was like hanging like this. Like someone had just like hung it from the axles, It's like really weird. Like I don't know if it was a piece of art or what. And then she took us through all these rooms in this house. Again, we walked into it. So like the car was over here on the wall, but then I think there was another parked car. And then, she was taking us through it, and then she was like, oh, do you want to see this other house? And then I remember being in like a forest for a minute. But it was like the Prescott forest. It was like pine trees. Maybe it's like Oregon area too. And then we went to this other house. And then there were these kids with us for some reason, or there were kids in this house. I don't know. I don't know if they were kids or if they were dogs. And I know that sounds really weird, but it was more of just like a soul. It wasn't like a body. But one of them had thrown up when we got there. And this one had like a bunch of bathrooms with these little bathtubs, like little baby bathtubs, but not like like they were regular sized bathtubs, but they were like shallow. So they were like this shallow, but they were like regular size. So fucking weird. And so I was like, oh, I'll stay here. And I was like, I don't know. It was so weird. And then I remember we ate snacks. I don't remember what the snacks were. And then I woke up shortly after. So I was tired. That was a lot. That was a lot. I'm very tired. I've never recorded myself like this. I'm tired. I already ate my salad. But, it was pretty intense. So, I don't know. I like traveling, but like it's getting way more intense. The first one too, drug stuff, was like, felt very personal. Like I was being betrayed, you know, like that feeling of betrayal. So I don't remember who it was, but it felt like a betrayal. I mean, they tried to like put my drugs in my suitcase, so I guess that is a pretty big betrayal. Like they were trying to make me take the rap for it. I'm like, no, just take your shit and give me my suitcase. Gotta go to Congo. It's so weird. I remember my suitcase was silver, and I feel like while that was all going on, there was way more that happened in each of them. But those are like the small details that I don't really remember at this point. I mean, I remember a little bit. Like I said, there were train tracks in the first one. And then there was a lot of me waiting and people like coming in and out of wherever I was. So that was also, it felt really schemey, right? Like there was a big scheme happening. And I felt like I was there for like a job or something. I don't know. The second one too, it was just like I walked in to this like hospital feeling setting, but you could see outside the tanks rolling in with the military. And then I woke up and saw on Instagram that Congo's Independence Day is today, and I just thought that was so fascinating. I know it was Congo because I asked when I was there where I was, and they told me I was in Congo. And the other white men that were there, I think it was pretty much white men. It felt like they were, like, it felt like we were in like a studio recording room, you know, with that glass. I know I've given a lot of examples of what it felt like, but I can't get the right thing, because it did kind of feel like it felt like an office. Ooh, my heart's beating really fast right now. So, those are my astral travels. The house one was kind of weird. Like at the very end, it felt like I was babysitting, because I was like, you need to go to sleep, telling these kids, like, this one just threw up. I was like, I'll clean it up. But like the real estate agent had left, I think, or there was another woman that she was partnershiped with. I don't know. I just know that I do a lot of work on the other realm. I don't know, it was really, I mean, are they all, I feel like if you put them all together, like it's a giant puzzle. It's like drugs are being sold by people in military control, and there's like bystanders who like know it's happening, and then they're using that money to buy like really stupid shit, like putting a car on a wall as like decoration. Meanwhile, kids are suffering. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like, but like we already know that if you pay any sort of attention to the world. So I don't know. My face is really squishy. So those, I just felt like I needed to share, because I woke up in the middle and went right back. And, I remember thinking while I was there that I was gonna share it. Too. So, it's fucking weird. Alright, have a good one.